So I've had my eye on the Jinhao X159, and not so long ago my wife decided to treat me with several different pens, and it included the Jinhao X159, and she's decided to get me one in the racing green color. I call it racing green because it reminds me of, old school British Jaguar cars which would have this same kind of color tone. I actually by myself purchased the Jinhao 159, the one before this pen. So at some point I'm going to be reviewing this and ink it up. But I was in a huge dilemma between whether to ink up the 159 or the X159. I've never used this before, so you're literally going to be seeing me using it for the first time ever. I'm aware that it takes design elements from the Mont Blanc Meisterstück. I have one of those which is in ballpoint or rollerball. I can never tell the difference. This is the Around the World 80 Days edition, and it was a wedding gift from my in-laws. So there are some comparisons I can make, but that will be a different video for a whole other day. My dilemma right now is whether to ink this up in Ancient Copper or Earl Grey. I'm leaning towards using it in Earl Grey because I'm getting these old school vibes, but I might go for Ancient Copper because I've never inked anything up in something like an orange color before. So I'm probably going to go with Ancient Copper, but definitely let me know your thoughts in the comment section whether I should have gone with Earl Grey or a totally different other ink. Just off first impressions, it posts incredibly well. I have no issues with that. You could see the Jinhao logo on the center banding on the cap, and it's got nice golden trim which complements the green color really well. Again, these come in many different colors and trims. But the only issue I have with it is it's very, very light, and I kind of wish there was a bit of weight onto the pen, and that is something that might put me off using this a little bit. But I guess it depends on how it writes ultimately. And we have, again, very interesting design element. It's very uncanny. It looks very similar to a Mont Blanc Meisterstück Legrand, but this is a bit thicker compared to the Meisterstück. We'll see how many turns it takes to uncap. 1, 2, 3, about 2 and a bit. So that's pretty good. Again, I have no issues with it posting. Plastic plastic rings here, and there's plastic rings on the inside, so you shouldn't really be getting a lot of wear and tear. This nib is dual toned. I got it in fine, and it's just a standard Jinhao nib. It's very thick, very stubby, so it'll be interesting to see how it performs. And it comes with a nice large Jinhao converter, pretty standard for a lot of these pens. So we'll go into doing some writing demonstrations. I think the key thing will be to see how this pen performs. I've never really had too much issues with Jinhaos. I've got a lot of pens from Jinhao which have this large stubby nib, so I'm quite excited to see how that goes. So now it's all inked up. I've got it in Ancient Copper. I'm really excited to see how this ink runs. It's the diamine variant, so let's get started with some writing sample. So, oh dear me, what is going on? There is, oh, I don't like the feeling of this one bit. Oh my goodness me. Hold on a minute. That's bad. That's really bad. Oh God. I've never had this experience before. It's skipping like crazy. There is absolutely zero flow. What have I done? Hold on a minute. Very interesting situation. Well, I'm gonna need to force the ink out now and try and get better flow. Honestly, guys, I'm pretty shocked. I might need to come back and... Oh, here we go. Much better, much better. Okay, I'm going to try and get a fresh piece of paper for you guys. So, it seems to be flowing a little bit better, but I don't know what to say. It almost feels like the pen and is not connecting with the paper. I really have no idea what to say. I mean, it's like a ghost pen. It's not necessarily gliding across the paper. It feels like I'm writing on ice, and it feels quite unsettling. I don't like it, if I'll be honest with you. It's not skipping now. I guess it took a bit of a while for the pen to start writing. Maybe I'll get accustomed to it, but I don't know how to explain the feeling. It's almost like I'm writing on an ice sheet. I mean, you don't feel much in the way of feedback. However, I think it's quite growing on me now in a weird way, but that felt really, really strange. I'm going to show some reverse writing, but again, not much flow I'm getting. I mean, I do love the ancient copper. I'm kind of happy that I inked it up. It almost looks like rusted iron. However, I don't think I'm going to give up on this just yet. I might need to come back and re-review this at some point. I mean, it feels really interesting. I've never had that sensation before. Okay, now I'm getting better feedback. So, bit of back weight, but not so much when you're writing it with the cap on, and I'm taking it off unposted. Jinhao X159, and I've got this inked up in diamine, ancient copper. Okay, giving it a few strokes, and I don't think it's that bad compared to a minute ago. That felt strange, and I thought there was something seriously wrong with the nib, but once the ink starts flowing, it's actually not so bad. Yeah, I'm not getting much luck with reverse writing, but I'm not getting a terrific amount of feedback, but I'm going to keep using this. This isn't so bad, in all honesty, contrary to the shock that I had displayed earlier on with the lack of the ink flow. And it's not bad. It's not terrible, to be honest. It writes okay. I'm going to do nice long strokes. Not much in the way of skipping. But that initial start was horrendous. But this is probably going to be on my inked section for now. And at some point, I'm going to ink up the 159, the original version, do a comparison video and see how things go. But it was an interesting one, guys. You know, that late start, it almost felt like an engine spluttering away. If I'm going to say one thing about this pen, I think it costed 10, 9, 8 pounds, very inexpensive, worth a buy, I guess. It's just not going to hurt too much and worth experimenting with. I guess it's a nice sort of homage or lookalike to a Mont Blanc Meisterstück. Perhaps the reason I had the false start with the ink might be due to quality control from Jinhao. I know one subscriber or one person commented on it in one of my videos previously that they have a pretty strange quality control, which is expected. You know, you kind of get what you pay for end of the day. But happy that I inked it up in ancient copper, and you know, there might be place for it to come in several months down the line. Do like and subscribe. I am going to keep you guys posted on future reviews, and at some point we'll be doing a big review on the X159, this one, the 159, sorry, and the Meisterstück, and just see how it all compares. And I guess, yep, like and subscribe. Thank you very much.